Hello and welcome to Jim and Jay's final say here on Palace Fan TV post Spurs result where Palace lost 3-1 at Selhurst Park. I'm Jim Daly. These are my thoughts on the game. I went to the pub briefly after the match and I've just got home. I went to the pub and everyone seemed quite down. I know we've lost, but I genuinely don't feel too upset or depressed, and I wasn't really after the game. I was kind of feeling not happy, but quite content. I think we actually played very well. And in the end, we've lost to two absolute world class finishes from Ali and from Chadley as well. But actually, with about 10 minutes to go before Ali scored and it was 1-1, I was sitting there thinking, yeah, that's probably about right. To be honest, it's been a fairly even game. Palace have, while still lacking a bit of cutting edge going forward, looked purposeful going forward and direct, hit the bar twice, made Lloris pull off a couple of really, really good saves. We sort of did everything that we'd expect or that we'd hope the team would do. And, we're going through a tough run at the moment. And I think all we can ask for as fans, or all we can certainly hope for, is that the team puts in a good performance and shows intent. And they definitely did that against Spurs today. We've been a bit unlucky with this run and the fixtures that have happened. And the Villa game obviously was the low point of the season. But then you got Man City away, Spurs at home, two games that really I think you wouldn't be expecting anything from. And not ideal when you need games to bounce back and respond from poor performances and poor results like the Villa game. But in both games you played okay. I didn't actually go to the Man City game last week. I was working. First game I missed since September. But I went today and the response was good from the players. They played well. I think everyone had a 7 out of 10, possibly an 8 for Wilf because I think he was our best player. But I don't think anyone played that badly. If you're going to really criticise, possibly our fullbacks, Soiree and Ward, seemed to struggle at times with the players coming down. Trippier seemed to get the better of Soiree quite a lot, and Rose got in behind Ward. So really, it was a battle of the fullbacks, all four fullbacks. And the Spurs one seemed to come out on top. So maybe sixes for Ward and Soiree. But to be honest, I think actually it wasn't a bad performance at all. Which is why I come away fairly content. Yes, we've lost, but I wasn't expecting anything going into the game, to be honest, from this or Man City. And actually, as long as the team have played well, which they did, then I'm not that upset. There's plenty more games left for us to get more points and climb back up the table. We're now in the bottom half, I believe, down into 11th. But that's actually the start of the season. We were all saying, yeah, we'd hope to push on for Europe, but we expect to finish 10th to 12th, and that's where we are now. I think we're finally sort of regression to a mean, is what my mate Andy says it on the FYP podcast. But we're sort of plateauing out into where we probably should be. Had we not had injuries this season, we probably would be a bit further on. But those things happen, and as a result, it's proven that our squad isn't quite as big or as much quality and depth as we think it is. And this is a transfer window. Will that be rectified? We'll see. We've got a couple of weeks left, and I'm sure we'll talk about more about that on Palace Fan TV. Of course, the main thing to talk about is we scored a goal. I can't believe I've got a couple of minutes in and I haven't mentioned that. We scored a goal. Yes, it was an own goal by Spurs, but before the game I was on Palace Fan Snapchat and I said I'll take a goal from anywhere, be it an own goal, whatever. And Vertonghen very helpfully obliged and poked it into the near post. It came from Wilf, who had, I think, was Palace's best player today. Caused a lot of problems going forward for Rose. And in fact, Rose was sort of way better offensively than he was defensively today, which I think proves how good Wilf was and possibly how much Ward struggled. But it was a lovely little finish from Vertonghen at the near post. And unfortunately, it's a second half. You thought Wilf would, he sort of didn't take on his man as much, actually, which is weird, because in the first half he was very, very good. But yeah, you'd like to see more from Wilf doing that going forward in the second half. But he proves each week he can be a match winner. Just getting that consistency from him and that final ball sometimes. But he did prove today at times that he can be the match winner for us. And when Balassi comes back, hopefully it will take some of the focus off Wilf, and he can expose some of the space that Balassi does create by being very direct. So yeah, when Balassi's back, we don't know, but we'll see. I thought Conor Wickham had a good game. Still struggles sometimes with the lack of support up top. The ball will go into the box and he'll have three men around him as he did today, and not a lot of support sometimes coming from midfield. But when it does, he seems to link up the play quite well and seems to know his role. Our defenders do. The problem with having a big man is, but by sheer sort of force of habit, defenders want to knock it up long to him, and so he had a lot of balls knocked up to his head, knocked up to his chest and stuff, and dealt with most of them. Went through a period in the first half where he wasn't winning many headers, but got better in the second half. But I think sometimes that can just detract from the way a team's trying to play because defenders just force habit want to knock it up there. And actually, I think we're probably better if we knock it into his feet and then knock it out to the wings and he can spin and go, much like Murray used to do at the end of last season. But Wickham had an okay game. Had a force a save from Lloris in the second half. Any other day, from a rebound from Suarez shot, any other day that would have possibly gone in. So yeah, I'm not that fussed, to be honest. I think there's a lot of positives from the game. Again, it's the reaction. We've got a cup game coming up, then we've got Bournemouth at home. Unfortunately, this run has now made the Bournemouth game quite an important one. But, hopefully it'll be a good game, I think, and we'll see how Palace can react. And that's all you can ask for at the moment. And so far, I went down to Southampton. That was a good reaction from the previous game. And Man City and Spurs have not been bad performances. So we're doing all right. Don't worry, guys. We're doing all right. And it's going to be an okay season, whatever happens. It's good. So that's me. Here's Jay from the Eagles Beak with his thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe. I know I say it every week, and I'm sure most of you have subscribed. But if you haven't, click that button now, wherever it is, and subscribe for all our Palace Fan TV content. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Snapchat because I'm doing snaps from every game this season. That's it. Here's Jay from the Eagles Beak, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.
Hey guys, welcome back to Jim and Jay's Final Say on Palace Fan TV. We're looking back at the Tottenham result this afternoon, and for me it was a good game, a terrific game of football actually. It was a bit ominous to start with because Tottenham started with some good possession against us, didn't allow us to get the ball an awful lot in that first 10, 15, maybe even 20 minutes. But when we did start getting into the game, we looked like we could threaten a Spurs team who are a great team. I have to say they're in good form. They're pushing the top four in the top four, pushing towards the leaders in the Premier League. So tough game. Obviously, knowing the result now, losing 2-1. Our run continues, but our run not scoring a goal ends because not that we scored a goal, it was an own goal, but we worked hard to get that goal, and we we took the lead in this one, and some would say it might be against a run of play, but I think we had a 10-minute spell there where we put some pressure on Tottenham, and who I mentioned are a good side, but we were getting stuck into them. They didn't particularly like that too much. Lloris looked a bit dodgy with his distribution, which we almost capitalised on that a couple of times in that first half. I think, to be honest, the goal was through real hustling, bustling play, and it came off for us in the end. There was a lot of to and fro in the box, and ended up being, I think it was Vertonghen who put it into the back of his net. Half time, 1-0 up, very happy because of the form we struggle with lately. Haven't been too good in games against, I have to say, the games we've had against Chelsea, now Tottenham, Man City. It's been a recent tough run of games, and obviously we lost at Villa, which is a game we shouldn't have lost, but we come up against the Tottenham side, and second half, we started off slowly again. It was a slow start, very similar to the first half. Tottenham were in the ascendancy trying to get that goal back, and it came, and not sure how Harry Kane got that header in really in the 6-yard box. Maybe Hennessy could have owned his 6-yard box a bit more, but I think I've just seen the replay of that goal, and I think Kane moves cleverly off of Suarez onto the back of Delaney, so he wouldn't have seen him come in. So whether there wasn't a shout, maybe Hennessy should have been there. But it's a difficult one. It's hard to blame Hennessy for that. And talking about Hennessy, great comeback today. He's had a couple of big mistakes recently, questions about whether he should start the game. Pardew stuck with him, and he made 3 or 4 great saves today. He really did. One of them was after a Joel Wall mistake actually, and you could say it was straight at him, but he held on to it. He didn't parry it into the path of anybody, which sometimes happens. But yeah, fair play to Hennessy. He's come back strongly from that. Yeah, like I mentioned, questionable about that Kane goal, but these things happen, and Tottenham got got back in the game, and they had a go at us to try and get that winning goal as it would have been at the time, and something special from Daly. Great player. England international, I have to say, a bit questionable about the Kabay, Kabay injury that he got. Looked like Daly trod on him. It was the opposite side to me from where I was. I haven't seen it on TV. Kabay had a lot of treatment for it. Came back on. Took a while to get back into the game, but you can't question his ability and his technique for that goal. It was a goal worthy to win any game, and as it happened, we tried to get back into the game. We pushed for an equaliser, and end up 3-1. A bit of a sucker punch. And I don't think we deserved to lose 3-1. I think we had a better performance compared to recent games. We hit the woodwork twice in the space of 5 seconds, which so unlucky with the chances there. Delaney, I think one come off the crossbar, fell to Delaney, and he couldn't put it away. Block shots from Spurs. I mean, you kind of think some of those chances you'd like to think that a striker, it's that big bold writing, capital letters striker is what we need. A striker that scores goals. I mean, we saw Charlie Austin score for Southampton today on his, came on as sub for them. We missed out on that one. Arguably, whether we're even in for him, but Pardew has come out and said that he is going to make a signing of a striker. So we'll just have to wait and see who that's going to be. We need somebody who's going to hit the ground running. Really, I think Wickham had a really good game today. Played that role. I just wish Zaha flits in and out of the game he did today. He had some great runs. I just wonder whether with Wickham flicking little touches, flicks on, Zaha could have got onto his shoulder a little bit more and anticipated that flick on maybe. That's the downside of having the one up front. If he can't hold it on, he's going to flick it on, and Zaha with pace. That's kind of where I miss Balassi a little bit. He was good at anticipating such flicks by the main man. But Wickham had a good game. I thought. I think a little bit dodgy at the backs in some occasions, really today. But I think in the midfield we worked hard. Against a very good side. Dembele is a great player in the middle, very strong on the ball, technically gifted. Ali had a good game, I have to say. Other than the misdemeanor that I mentioned, with Kabay. But I haven't seen it on TV, so it's difficult to pass too much comments on that until I see it again. But disappointing to lose 3-1 to Spurs. But Spurs are a good side. I think there's a lot of positives we can take from the game today. I think we looked, a lot more together today. We've got a run of games now where, we've come out of playing the likes of Chelsea are in they turned up against us, but they're a good side, and not doubting that, when in the position they're in. Man City, we got stuffed by. Tottenham, we lost by. We're conceding goals, but I think, on the flip side of that, when you're not scoring goals, it puts so much more pressure on a defence to stand firm and kind of perhaps tenses them up a little bit, and they can't play to scoring a goal does take a lot of pressure off a defence, an awful lot. But I think there was a few good signs today. Even in defeat, it is disappointing to lose, and the run continues. But I think we've got a favourable run of games now. I say favourable. There's no easy games in the Premier League or in football, but you would hope to think that we head to the FA Cup game at home to Stoke next week, who lost big today as well. So we'll see what happens to that one. But after that, we've got a few games. Bournemouth, likes of Bournemouth, West Brom, and Watford, and none of those are easy. But we're not playing the likes of Man City and Tottenham, who are chasing for a title. So different ball games entirely. But we'll see what happens. We're back on Palace Fan TV again next week for our review of the Stoke City game. So we will see you then. In the meantime, leave your comments about the Tottenham game below this video. Tweet Palace Fan TV at Palace Fan TV, and by all means keep in touch with Palace Fan TV on Snapchat as well, where Jim and the guys do a great job as well. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch up with you soon. Thank you. Bye.